5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
A very warm good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is Utkarsh Tandon welcoming you to this evening session or the post-day review of the first day's play of this fourth test match going on between India and England at the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad. Uh, there were a couple of changes at the toss as England won the toss and opted to bat first. Dan Lawrence and Dominic Best came in for Jofra Archer and Oli Stone. Another thing was that in India, everyone knows that Jasprit Bumrah was allowed to skip the fourth test due to some personal reasons. So Mohammed Siraj came in for Jasprit Bumrah, and these were the changes in both the teams. England opted to bat first, won the toss, but actually could not capitalize on this decision as they were bowled out for 205. Yes, you heard it right. It is 205, and initially the situation was immensely bad. They were absolutely in a muddle as they were reduced to 30 for 3, courtesy Axar Patel, who picked 4 wickets. Ravichandran Ashwin picked 3, while Mohammad Siraj bagged a couple of wickets, and Washington Sundar also had 1 wicket to his name. So 205 all out. It was Ben Stokes who scored a swift half century. Apart from that, Oli Pope and Dan Lawrence also showed some resistance, scoring 29 and 46 respectively. So now for more of the analysis, and at stumps, India stands at 24 for 1 with Rohit Sharma batting not out at 8 and Cheteshwar Pujara solid at 15. So now joining us is our expert, Mr. Monty Panesar. Sat Sri Akal, Paji. Hello. Paji, am I audible?
Yes, Sat Sri Akal.
Paji, starting with the wicket, because it was the talk of the town yesterday also we discussed. So today's wicket looked a completely better wicket to bat on, a solid wicket to bat on. So don't you think that England missed the trick and did not capitalize on the decision which Joe Root took on the toss?
Yeah, well, it was the right decision, to bat on that wicket. But I think, there was going to be a little bit of tough batting early, especially in the first session. But I think it was just, Mohammed Siraj again showing, his skill, the way he kind of like bowling back of a length deliveries and then bowling it slightly fuller, trapping Joe Root at the crease, which is the position, I think every fast bowler loves seeing batsman playing from the crease. So I think it's a combination of actually the Indian fast bowlers, actually really sort of bowling well on this wicket. And then, it's just England, they're just sort of very short of confidence, especially the batters. You can just see that they were in positions throughout today where they could have actually, pressed on a little bit more, and if they made the right decision, but they kept on sort of losing wickets and playing the wrong shots.
Yeah. Paji, you mentioned about Mohammed Siraj. So the wicket was even for the fast bowlers and the spinners because it was swinging and seaming a bit in the initial stages, and then at the final stages of the day, it was starting to grip and turn. So Akshar Patel and Ashwin, the AA factor again hurted England, and as you mentioned, it was a good wicket to bat on, but England could not capitalize. So don't you think that it is now something psychological for England because some of the batters also played some rash shots against Axar and Ashwin. So it's that fear, it's that threat of Axar and Ashwin which is settled in the minds of English batters.
Well, look, I think it's to do with the flight and the trajectory, to be honest. I think the way they're bowling with the flight and they're getting, I think they're just getting the batsman to, to search for the ball rather than actually, commit with conviction. They're not. I think they're struggling. I think the real problem is that they're struggling with the flight of Axar Patel and Ashwin, and they can't able to make then that sort of committed decision, right, to go right back, right forward. Here's my single. Here's my boundary option. Like you had Ben Stokes, for example. The ball was spinning outside off stump, and he's trying to play the sweep shot.
Yeah.
That's a high risk shot. And and again, it just shows that it's just skillful. I just think the skill of these Indian spinners is far more greater than actually the England batsmen. They just can't able to pick the line or the length as well as they want to because of the flight of of what they're getting.
Paji, Axar and Ashwin we can understand, but the way you earlier also mentioned about Mohammed Siraj and the way he's grown up right from that Australian tour. So a comment on Mohammed Siraj because he's just played 5 Test matches and the way he trapped Joe Root was something really commendable.
Yeah, that was just like fine, lovely bowling. It was very much how an English fast bowler will bowl, bowling back of a length, hard sort of length, or even just, just kissing that surface and then really sort of bowling a slightly fuller ball and actually trap Joe Root at the crease. So it was lovely bowling, like a lot of people have talked about this pitch this week and the concern was, are we going to have another turning wicket? And I think, that BCCI have done brilliant in terms of trying to, produce a slightly flatter track. They're trying to get more grass on the wicket, so that there shouldn't be no complaints. I think it's just, I think the Indian bowlers are actually just become better throughout this series and become much more skillful.
Yeah. Now India stands at 24 for 1, and Mohammed Siraj in his presser mentioned that we are actually thinking of batting a couple of days peacefully so that I get some rest. So with the form Rohit Sharma is in and the kind of player Pujara is often considered as the new modern wall of this Indian cricket team. Do you think that this pair will bat longer and will hurt England tomorrow?
It very much depends on, I think, Jack Leach, how he bowls. I think they've got a different game plan to him, how he reacts to that. I think Jimmy Anderson's bowling fantastic. You can't get any better than that with Jimmy Anderson. Bowling beautiful. And I hope he just doesn't get frustrated with that, sticks to how he's bowling and just keep bowling like that throughout the Test match. I'm sure wickets will come. But I think the real concern is going to be the spinners. I think Dom Bess, if he can bowl consistently, then that will help England and help Joe Root to really, he can then start captaining the side and get the whole bowling unit to put pressure on India, and that's going to be, I think, a huge day tomorrow. And I think it's going to be a big day for Dom Bess. He needs to bowl well in India. I'm sure he'll be up for the challenge. To show that he's a good spinner.
Yeah, Paji, in the previous Test matches, you mentioned that a concern of yours regarding Dom Bess and Jack Leach that they don't bowl consistently all the 6 balls in their particular area. They actually bowl 4 balls, good 4 balls, and then offer a freebie either in the form of a short ball or a full toss. So, do you think that they just need to consistently hold on to certain area and pitch will do its work, or they just have to vary in flights and speed?
Yeah, look, I think they just need to find their rhythm first. That's the most important thing, and then just let the pitch do the turn and bounce, and just get and bowl consistently. Once that's in place, and then you found your rhythm, then you can actually start varying the pace or change the field settings. And if anything, just bowl the same way, but just change the field. That's all they got to do. So that's a variation itself. So I think they just got to work out where their rhythm is, how they're feeling about their bowling, and then set the field according to that. You don't want to be going too attacking, knowing that actually it doesn't feel that great, and then suddenly India start building a lead, and the first innings sort of it's going to be crucial for England to bowl India out, close to that target 200, or I think 300, a lead of 100. It should be more. That's maximum. I think if there's anything more than that, then obviously, yeah, it's a game could be slipping away from England.
Also, Baji, your thoughts or your comments on Virat's rotation policy, the way he rotated his bowlers today, the way he rotated between Ishant Sharma and Mohammed Siraj, then with Axar Patel, he brought Axar Patel really early, who picked took couple of wickets of Dom Sibley and Zach Crawley, and then bringing Washington Sundar at the last. So, the way he rotated his bowlers, any comments on that?
Well, I think it makes his job easy. He knows all the bowlers are bowling well. He knows that whoever I bring on is going to do a job for me. So it allows him to then just be creative as a captain. He doesn't have to worry about the bowlers bowling, the lines and lengths. He knows what their game plans are, and then he can just work out. And depending on how the batsmen are playing, he thinks, okay, I think
Yeah.
I want to bring this player on, and so it was beautiful. It's Virat Kohli's back to his best as captain, which is great to see. And I think that's the difference with Joe Root. Joe Root has, he's not sure about Don Best's consistency. And I think Joe Root's going to find it difficult if the spinners don't bowl well. So if they can actually bowl well, it'll make it a lot easier. And you can see the contrast. Both captains are great. It's just the bowlers. I think Virat Kohli just has better bowlers than Joe Root.
Yeah, yeah, Paji. And now coming on to the batting of England, as you mentioned, they could not capitalize on the decision and the toss advantage which they got. So Joe Root rightly mentioned after the second test that their batters need to figure out how to score in these conditions because when you are in India, you have to expect some turn out of the wicket and also adapt to the weather conditions. So do you feel that Joe Root, there's a lot of burden on Joe Root and Ben Stokes in the middle order, and that the whole batting revolves around Joe Root and Ben Stokes? If they fail, then it sounds as if the collective failure of England's batting lineup.
Yeah, absolutely. I think both Joe Root and Ben Stokes, both of them are 100%. That's where the batting revolves around, and I think you need both of them to score well. You can't have one or the other, because look at the shot selection today by apart from Molly Pope, both Dan Lawrence and Zach Crawley kind of gave the wickets away. Dom Sibley obviously got done by the skillful bowling. But they got to learn from these mistakes. They got to learn from when they get out. They can't keep getting out the same way because it kind of just shows that they're not actually learning, or they're not willing to change their game plan while during Test series. So that's something obviously a slight concern for these younger batters. But you can't expect them to be as good as you want them to be. It just means that they've got to do what they can. But possibly taking high risk shots when it's not necessary. I think that's something that they should take out of their out of their sort of game plan.
Paji, with Rohit and Pujara looking steady and solid, how much do you feel that England will target to restrict India so that it is within their reach? How much will England eye to actually restrict India?
Yeah, look, I think it's going to be. You can see the Indian batsmen are patient. They don't mind when England are bowling well. They're happy to adjust their game plans and just bat within themselves. And I think that's something they're very comfortable with. They're very comfortable with not scoring. Then when the opportunity comes to score, then they'll bat freely, and that's a contrast difference. I think England seem to panic slightly. They're trying to score. They try and put the bowlers under pressure, and at times you just think, well, when the spinners are bowling well, What is my game plan? And do I just stick to that as my game plan? And then gradually, once I, get a bit more familiar with their bowling spells and actually feel comfortable, as a batsman, you got to feel comfortable when the Indian spinners or the Indian fast bowlers are bowling well and stay at the crease. And that's something Rohit Sharma's doing against Jimmy Anderson. Jimmy Anderson's bowling beautiful, but he's leaving the ball well. He's, when it comes to off stump, he's just
Yeah,
defending it. He's not sort of, playing that shot on the up. So he knows that he's adjusting their game, and that's England could do the same. It's not. I don't think it's as hard as it as maybe the we're making it sound. It's just adjusting on mindset. It's the
yeah,
intention. It's the
yeah,
intention of the bat, and it's also the type of practice they do. I'm not sure how much they practice just defending the ball with soft hands and the ball just trickling to the net, not very soft hands. Again, look at Ben Stokes. He's playing from the crease, and then Ashwin's clever. He's going to try and get you coming out, and then once he got you coming out,
yeah,
he's like snatching at that rather than playing with soft hands. Defend with your soft hands, and then let the ball just get to short leg or forward short leg. That's all he had to do. Again, you can see the bat coming down because I just think I don't know how they're practicing, but it just shows in their shot selection. They're probably certain things they're probably not doing right.
yeah, yeah. Rightly mentioned that it's the mental adjustment which is to be made. Now, Paji, last couple of questions. One for Pant that we saw a serious improvement in Rishabh Pant's keeping behind the wickets, and do you feel that it's the runs which he's made right from Australia, which is helping him to gain confidence and to keep more freely?
I think it's Ben Foakes. I think he's batting well, but I think he's got direct competition. It's like when I'm a spinner and you have an opposite spinner, you're obviously trying to have direct competition and then making sure, let's say, I get more wickets than the opposition spinner. When he sees a genuine keeper in Ben Foakes, he's probably one of the best in the world, and I think he's a better
Yeah,
keeper than Rishabh Pant. Rishabh Pant's thinking, wow, this is what a real good keeper looks like. He's seeing it and he's thinking it's raised his game. And you can see how in the second Test match when he took that brilliant Ben Foakes took that brilliant stumping. He's probably watched it. He's seen him take some great catches, and Rishabh Pant, he's up to the task. So I think this Ben Foakes is probably making Rishabh Pant a better keeper.
yeah. Okay, now for tomorrow, we'll meet after the day's play. But before that, Paji, your prediction for tomorrow. Will India bat out the whole day, or will we see any surprise from the English team, from Jack Leach or Dominic Bess?
Yeah, look, they got like a really big day tomorrow. I think more than Dom Bess, and Dom Bess shouldn't put himself under pressure. He's going to come time and time again in Test cricket, where there will be that day where it's like, okay, we're going to rely we need Dom Bess to turn up and actually just bowl well. All he's got to do is just land the balls in there. Don't worry about the turn and the bounce. Just get your consistency. The pitch is doing enough. He shouldn't think, he needs to spin it really hard and try and get something out of the wicket. The wicket will react. I think his consistency is going to be an issue. And if that's the case, then get the field set right for that as well. Have a couple of men out. It's okay to have a few men out and give yourself that opportunity to bowl well. But I think Joe Root's a smart captain and he'll be able to adjust accordingly to how Dom Bess bowls tomorrow.
Okay, okay. So let's hope that we get another riveting play tomorrow for day two. And as Rohit and Pujara stand tall against this English bowling lineup, let's hope tomorrow there's another interesting battle between the English bowling and the Indian batting. And we'll meet tomorrow after today's play. Thanks a lot, Paji, for joining in. That's it for today. Goodbye.